that's good, but that's not, and slap is when we need to be slapped or punch us in the chest. And that's what entrepreneurs need sometimes. Just somebody to tell them the unadulterated truth. So if you're here for that, you got the perfect man. Because he's gonna tell you his expertise, close to 30 years in this industry, and he started late, and he passed a lot of the predecessors that were in the industry before him. There were a lot of Fortune 500 companies, McDonald's named one, Pizza Hut. So you guys put your hands together and make him feel welcome. Derek Walker.
I don't recognize the person who was just described. I am the most boringest person in the world. That's it. You may go now. Trust me to screw up technology.
Technology's awesome.
Technology hates me.
Oh my gosh, great.
My title's wrong on the slide, by the way, and I don't correct it, but my new title is Chief Instigator, Pot Stirrer. And that's what advertising does. The idea is that we stir things up. Because if we don't stir it up, then you don't get any attention. If you don't get any attention, you don't get customers. If you don't get customers, you don't get sales. If you don't get sales, you don't get what? Revenue. And if you don't get revenue, you'll never see profit. So, why should I care? If you don't take anything else from this little talk, please take this question. As a customer or client or consumer, whatever you want to call the people that do business with you, they're internally asking, why should I care about your business? And that's what marketing and advertising is. I'm going to stay here for just a second. Marketing is the internal process that a business does. And it's kind of blurred because people, and I'll tell you why. There are 4 P's in marketing: price, promotion, place, product. There should be 5. People. These 5 things impact your business. The price, you can be too high, too low. Nobody wants a Rolls Royce for $1. But then nobody wants to pay $100,000 for something out of Walmart, except in certain stores. Price sends a message in and of itself. Place, where you sell, where your product lives and breathes in the world, not just on the internet, but in the store, in your store, or whatever, is important to consider. So when people say they're doing marketing, they normally are talking about just doing the 3rd P, promotion. But promotion is just one of the 4 Ps, and it's predicated on price, place, and product. Product is important. Some of you may be selling to everybody. So your price, your quality, and let's be clear on this, not everyone is producing A1 quality. So you have to own up on that fact and be true to it. Figure out where your product lives. Now, when you identify all of those things, then guess what you get to do? You get to advertise. Advertising, by definition, and I'm a writer, so I'm stuck on definitions, is the promotion of a product, goods, or service. Paid promotions of a product, goods, or service. Paid promotions of a product, goods, or service. People go, well, I'm going to do digital advertising. Take the digital off, it's advertising. I'm going to do TV. Take TV off, it's advertising. Radio, advertising. Outdoor, advertising. Direct mail, advertising. Social media, advertising. If you pay someone to promote your business, it is advertising. And I want to make it that simple for you, because when you make it that simple, then it's easier to manage and grow. People go, well, what do you specialize in? I specialize in advertising. Because you may have something that needs me to reach people on social media. You may have something that needs me to reach them on radio and through direct mail. If I can only do one, then you got to hire how many other people? Your message must be clear. Now, I did an experiment. Click for me. I posted this on Twitter. Marketing is more than promotions. Advertising is not an option, it's a requirement. People are emotional creatures, even when spending money. I'm speaking to a room of entrepreneurs about marketing and advertising. Anything else I should hit on? My time is short. And I open this up to some of the best marketers and advertisers in the world. Click. Nobody cares about you. Advertising, real advertising makes them care. Because if they don't care, they won't buy, and if they don't buy, you're out of a job. I'm sorry for reading these, but I didn't know how big they were gonna be. Next one, we got a whole slew. The difference between a holistic set of choices that shifts your direction of travel. I told Tom I don't know what in the world he's talking about, but anyway. And disconnects groups of choices that don't change your direction of travel. This is why he's a strategist. Because, see, they talk like this, and we don't allow them to meet clients. Never mind. Next one. Storytelling is critical, and transparency is the new authenticity. If you want, I will supply you guys with this. I'll give you my email at the end, and you can just get the slide. I've got it both in PowerPoint and go ahead, next one, and Keynote. If you have a product, poor service, or vaporware, advertising and marketing are not designed to rescue you. The worst thing for a bad product is good advertising. It will tell everybody how bad you are. It'll draw more attention to you. So before you start marketing and advertising, have your house in order. Next one.
It's vaporware.
Talking about systems. I tell you, I got some strange friends. The words that pop up, I'm not correcting them. Design and branding is more than slapping a logo on everything. They should be carved in your mind. Unless, and this is the problem that many businesses have, including McDonald's, unless McDonald's is selling logos, the logo is not more important than the product and the service. I know you're in love with your company, you want the name of your company out there, but unless I'm buying that logo, hit me with a message. Tell me about why I should care. Give me a reason to buy from it. And too many people, what they do is they go, where's my logo? Make my logo bigger. That'll sell. No. I'm going to buy a car. I care less about the logo. I care whether the car's a piece of crap or not. You know, have you guys seen the Subaru ad where the family crashes? See, their logo isn't that big. You know why? Because that big picture of that crashed car and that father and that child walking away from it hits you in the feels. Now I'm looking at it going, that logo could have been tiny. I'm going, what kind of car was that? Because I'm going to stick my boys in it. I'm going to stick my daughter in it, my foster daughter. I don't have her listed. We have a foster daughter, so I have two boys and a foster daughter. So it's my mistake. Sorry, Ronnie, that daddy left you off. Next one. Design matters. Product design, packaging. You want to be proud of the product you use and own. Human beings are funny, and this is why I'm not a fan of AI right now. Some things happen in us that we can look at the colors and the scheme and the quality of what we package things in, and we instantly equate a level of quality to it. So if you poorly design what your product looks like or is packaged in, and you expect great advertising to make it good, then what great advertising has to talk about is, despite your ugly packaging, we're a high quality product. So if you really don't want it to have to work that hard, how about you design your packaging better? Take it into consideration. Next, I got plenty of these. Your brand must stand for something, anything. It doesn't have to be world changing, but stand for something. Ford used to say quality is job one. I got a question. Who says quality is job 4? Nobody. It was one of the worst taglines in history for me, because who doesn't believe, like saying, I love my customers? Who isn't going to say they love their customers? Say something with meaning. Nike says what?
Just do it.
See, you remember that one. The Army used to say,
we do more than 4 to 5 a.m. than most people do all day.
yeah, but they also used to say, be all you can be.
Be all you can be.
Yes.
See, those messages are ingrained in us, so they send a message. They're associated with the brand. Your brand is a promise, and I'm sorry I just got to this. Your brand isn't your signage and everything. It's a promise between you and the person buying your services. You do not create your brand. What you do is you grow your brand. Let me change the word brand for a second so it's easier to understand. Your reputation. How many people in here actually believe you can build create a reputation? You don't. You grow it. See, you don't control how I feel about you. You influence it. But you have to behave a certain way. You have to walk through this world a certain way. Your brand is just that. Let me think of a good brand. Mercedes-Benz used to have the idea that they were quality, without saying quality. And that's the key to it, is you don't use those keywords. We go, I have a quality product. If I tell you I have a quality product, instantly you go, he's lying. You know, it tastes great. Who did they taste this on? Try this on. I've got a friend that likes kale. And bless her heart, she can't recommend a restaurant to me because kale is a foul vegetable. Hi, Shabby. She's my kale. She and I have kale and spinach battles on Twitter. But I'm sorry, I just had to take that dig. So remember that your brand is that promise. So how you train your people, the quality you put into your product. What happens with customer service? I'm gonna stop here for a second. There's a thing, everybody thinks that digital, social media, and Facebook will save you. These two are not new technologies. They're actually an old the oldest form of advertising on the planet, word of mouth. And I was telling a young man last week, when you find a great restaurant, how many people do you tell? But really, seriously, not 10, 20, 30?
Between 5 and 10 people.
Okay. If you go to a restaurant and get food poisoning, how many people do you tell?
I want to put it on Facebook.
See? Word of mouth is a sword that cuts coming and going. If you do great, a couple of people will get on there and tell you. But when you mess up, when I get food poisoning, I'm standing at the corner of Main and Washington with a sign going, they tried to kill me, y'all. And we don't understand that about social media and digital. You can live or die by other people's opinions. So if you do not have your brand in order, if I walk in and your person greets me like, what do you want? Guess where I'm going? Yes, but I'm also going to Twitter. And I'm going to LinkedIn, and I'm going to Facebook. See, I'm not gonna argue with you. I can hurt you on social media. And we wonder why our businesses don't work because we haven't invested in training our people. Remember the 5 Ps. There were 4, I'm adding the 5th, people. If your people aren't trained, what happens? Nothing an ad can say can correct bad customer service. Nothing an ad can say can change poor quality in a product. If the wheel falls off my car, there's not an ad in this world that will make me buy another one of them if it fell off when I drove it off the lot. Not gonna do it. So you gotta understand that brand is really important to be nurtured and grown. Do you have a training manual for your people? What's your standards of quality? How do you handle customer service? Are you honest with people? If I come in and you give me an estimate, is it the same as when I walk? Is it the price I pay at the end of the job? Or it's close to it? If you're gonna go over, at least tell the people before you start. See, all of that impacts how I believe in you. And that's what brand is, how I believe in your business. You can't make that, you can grow it. And when you take that mentality, you start treating people. Some people believe in the Bible, some people don't. But that do unto others, as you would have them to do to you, guess what? That's your brand. All right, I'm sorry, I better keep going. You are not your audience. Lord, I just really want to just hug this person. We all think because we built our business that we buy our product. But we are not our audience. So what we do is we sometimes talk to ourselves. I want people to know that I've been working in advertising for 30 years. I care less. People don't care about that. They care about what I've done. But if I'm telling you I've been in here for 30 years, I would say this about doing business for 50 years. That just means you survived. It doesn't mean you're the best. The best don't always survive. And I'm gonna go off script for a second. The worst part about working in advertising, the absolutely worst part, is watching good companies with great products or service fail within 5 years. And you know why they fail? They refuse to invest in themselves. Not a slide for this. Think about how much you pay in rent and production, creation of your product and everything. And then think about how little you spend on marketing it, advertising it. I wish Tom was here from Midlands Tech. He teaches a course to small businesses, and they always have to write a business plan. Inside nearly every business plan format, guess what exists? A marketing plan and a marketing budget. And you know what we do as small business owners? I'll get to that after I get up and running. I'll have a budget after I make enough money. I got a question for you. How you gonna make money when nobody knows you? See, it's a vicious circle, so people, and then you're stuck. You should be marketing and thinking about marketing, developing a plan and a budget before you go to sell, before you open your doors. Because I'm not a big fan of his now, but I was before, until we had the Model S. Tesla had a waiting list for that Cybertruck. God ugliest truck on the planet. You'll argue with me later about it. But there's a thing about anticipation. See, if you get people to start being excited about you before you open your business, before you launch a new product, then they're lined up, they're ready for you. And you send them the little updates. We've forgotten the art of anticipation. And it's not an advertising thing, it's a human thing. You know, when you get ready to go on a trip and you got your kids with you, you tell them what? We're going on a trip. 2-3 weeks out, little monsters is all over the house. We're ready. And you, admittedly, you know that feeling of pride that they're seeing that excitement in them. Why wouldn't you do that with your product, your business? Instead, what we do is we wait till we get up to Disneyland and go, hey, look, we're at Disney. No, I'm sorry, we're on Space Mountain. See, we done entered the park, we done passed the concession, and now you're gonna tell the kids, oh, look, we're at Disney. You didn't give them the whole experience of anticipation. That's important. Next one for me. In my experience with small business owners, most of the advice posted here makes total sense. Also, encourage them to demand straight answers on results, especially for online ad spending. Too much just assume it works. Do not trust us. We are professional liars. And I'm including all of advertising. This is why you hire somebody like me, or you engage with somebody like me. And oh, for the record, I do not do business in South Carolina. Please do not come up to me. So there, no salesperson will call. So that gives me the opportunity to tell you how I really feel, because you're never gonna be my client. Do not trust the Facebook folks, or the Instagram folks, or the YouTube folks. The numbers are not accurate. Oh God, I said that on tape. Oh well, I will have less money than I had today. But you'll see online, if you go and just Google it, you'll find out that we don't even trust the numbers. They've been inflated, they've been conflated, they've been moved around. Google changes their algorithm so many times that you don't know whether you're coming or going. So go in there with a bit of skepticism. Own that, because it's important, because it's your money. Next one. I'm not gonna read that one. Yeah, no one gives a crap about you or your product. People care about themselves and their own problems. Otherwise, other rules are available. He's right. I don't care. I don't want to see your kids. I don't want to see your dog. Your dog ain't gonna do jack for me. I'm a dog person, but let's be totally honest. A dog in an ad, a baby in the ad, and you're gonna ask me to spend $12,000 to $20,000 on the air conditioner system? Come on, people. You can tell me that air conditioning system is good. You need to tell me more. I'm about to step off on 12 to 20,000. Oh no, I work too hard for my money to give it up too easy. And you think your baby is cute enough for that? No, your baby looks like a little lizard. Sorry, all babies look like lizards. So there we start there. Creative exaggeration should not amount to lies or set wrong expectations in customers. Your advertising should not lie. I know I said we're professional liars. We should not be lying openly to anybody. I'm not gonna tell you you're gonna look like Denzel after this treatment. You're not. I'm not gonna tell you, the inferred messages, if you take these pharma drugs, you'll be waif thin and you'll be happy and all of this. No, baby, you will not be. No, under promise, over deliver. Under promise, over deliver. The Scotty rule. Scotty from Star Trek does an episode and he looks at another engineer and goes, how long is that gonna take? 3 hours. So what did you tell the captain? 3 hours. No, laddie. You tell him 6, so you look like a genius when you finish in 3. Under promise, over deliver. If you make a grand promise, I almost cursed, you better deliver on that. It is better to infer quality than to say this is the happiest you're ever gonna be. If I tell you this is the greatest movie you're ever gonna see, you go in with that expectation. And here's how we work as human beings. You don't go in and go, oh, I'm about to see the greatest movie. Oh, let me see if that Derek Walker's a liar. This movie better impress me. And you come out going, it wasn't as good as he said it was. That's how our brains work. I don't know why humans are flawed like that. You should take me at my word. When I say Godzilla -1 is the greatest movie on the planet, it's the greatest movie on the planet. Period. I love that movie. Next for me. If you're building a brand, get people to join your cause rather than... We need to go to church as business owners. Religion has figured out how to get people to do stuff for them for free. If you look at the size of a church and their staff, their paid staff, compared to their benevolence department, their education department, their ministries for song and their ministry for the pantry and everything, all of those folks are volunteers. What they created were true believers. If you don't believe in your product, your company, your service, then I'm not gonna believe it. Start thinking about how you create true believers. And I don't have one for this, hold on. A thank you to a person who does business with me is not something that requires me to pay that person to pay money. If I say thank you for bringing me to taking me from point A to point B, I give you a cake. I don't charge you for the cake. But in business, what we say is, here's a thank you gift, 50% off. You only got to spend money. If you're going to say thank you, say it authentically. Say it honestly. And we're talking to small businesses here. How many of you have gotten a handwritten note from somebody that you've done business from that just simply said thank you? How'd you feel? See, we've forgotten what our parents taught us. We used to, every time we got a gift, we used to have to write a thank you note. A person, and please God, don't give new customers more than what you give a steady old customer. I hate seeing those phone deals. I'm stuck paying $5 billion a month and Verizon giving these people everything. I'm like, what the? And then you go to Verizon and go, oh, you got a 2-year contract, Mr. Walker. We got you. Guess what happens at 2 years? They ain't got me no more. There are way too many other people out there. I jump from brand to brand now because why? Ain't nobody loved me enough to say thank you. If they were smart, what they would say is, this is the deal for new customers and existing customers. Let us redo your contract. No, that's too much to do. Greed is a bad problem for big corporations. We are smaller companies. Stop behaving like big companies. Because you need to build up to this. You need to bring these folks on. Okay, next one. This is going to get me in trouble with the VC crowd, but the VC crowd are human beings. They have emotions and feelings. If you're looking to get to a VC person, a VC, an angel investor, whatever, focus on your numbers, but have a hell of a message. Make them believe. I have seen clients get funding simply by the passion of the person presenting. Not the numbers, but what they believe the product or service would do. We don't think everything you do as a business owner is marketing. Everything. When you go to that bank, because guess what? The last time I checked, bankers are human. So if the banker's excited about it, he or she may tell more people. You go to your doctor and the doctor asks you what you do for a living. If you're excited about it, she may tell more people. You know, I got a patient who has a business, a real estate business. They all have friends and family. Are you thinking globally about your connections like that? And I say globally, I'm saying locally. So financing is an option. Okay, next one. Making a choice as a marketer is more often than not about deciding to let go than to keep. Hope is not a strategy. Being present definitely is. Friends, family, and church will not save you.
Say that again, please.
Friends, family, and church will not save you. They mean well, but you can't count on them to be your customer base. I went to Brooklyn Baptist for their buffet. As you can tell, body by buffet. And that church has a few thousand members, and their buffet barely had 30 people. The church folks ain't there. They go to that church, but they're not supporting the buffet. But you're gonna trust friends and family. And let me tell you, unless you got family that's different from mine, my family always wants a discount. See, so you can't even trust them to pay full rate. And once again, your family may not be your audience. So put some effort in to having a strategy and being present. Next one. Brand early, not often. Brand is one thing. I don't change my brand. I've had this brand since 2009 and it chugs along. Good times, this is the brand. Bad time, this is the brand. Why? Because those ebbs and flows don't change who you are. If you change with the conditions and the wind, I can't trust you. You were this yesterday, you're this today. Consistency pays off. Ride that storm out. Yeah, there's gonna be days where the water's coming over the bow, but there are gonna be days where the water's just so smooth that you're just sailing along. You gotta take both of those as who you are. You don't change for the situation, because that just means I've got to learn, as a customer, as a patient or consumer, I've got to learn who you are again. And who likes somebody that's constantly changing? Okay, next. Long-term brand advertising improves your ability to charge a premium. Don't sacrifice this in favor of short-term discounts and tactics. You are worth what you are worth. Apple computers and this is something we very seldom talk about. Apple computers are luxury items. If you own an Apple, Lord knows you have never seen them discount their computers. As a matter of fact, there's one on their website that's $55,000. My art director's like, D, no, get away from that page. D, no, there will not be a Brown and Browner check for that. You, $55,000. My art director's drooling. Ooh, dare, no. But look at what Apple's done. When Apple first started, everybody said Apple will never catch IBM. Then Apple almost went bankrupt, but they were still charging an arm and a leg for their computers. Now Apple's worth more money than anybody else, and Apple still ain't cut us no discounts, y'all. Now you get a discount on your iPhone, but you ain't getting it. Go buy a computer from them. Those MacBook Pros do not discount. They look at you and go, I'm a sexy beast, but I'm expensive. If you don't want to play the game, go somewhere else. Go buy a Sony. That's what you've got to do. Determine your price. Don't listen to other people, and find those people who value what you have to offer. Okay, next. Don't forget the market part of marketing. Period. Next. Be a real person. Show genuine care and respect for all other people, even at a distance in your messaging. We all know when we're being sold to. We just do. We were raised in a capitalistic society. The second somebody starts talking, you either know this person wants me to buy something, they want something from me, or they genuinely care about me. Which one of those is going to get you the most business? They genuinely care. Next. Is that it?
Yes, sir.
Cool. That's all. I wanted to get through them so you have questions. I can sit back down. I'm tired. I'm old. I'm fat. And let's do questions.
So why do you choose not to do business in South Carolina?
I love Columbia. I love South Carolina in general. But we're behind. And the size now that education requires, I have to educate people to get them to where they need to be to do business with me. And it's unfair to them to ask them to wait that long. So I don't want to be stuck educating and doing this. Here's the sad part about Columbia. Columbia in '86, when I graduated from USC, go Gamecocks, we roughly had 20 ad agencies employing about 300 to 400 employees. Today we have maybe 5 agencies employing maybe 100 people. We are a worker state. We talk about making more workers. We don't talk about making more business people. If we did, we would teach differently. We would foster differently. I wouldn't have to tell you that you need a marketing plan. We let companies exist that haven't even planned it. So think about all the work I have to do to get them to the point. And my best friend said, D, he just looked at me one day, art director, he looked at me and he said, you can't save everyone. Now I want to save everybody, but I ain't making no money. I'm sorry. I hope that answers it. I don't mean to be doom and gloom. We have to grow to the point where we value marketing our products, businesses, and services. Then we will be ready for marketing and advertising professionals to open up ad agencies. Right now we got a ton of freelancers, and they are good. Don't get me wrong. I think the University of South Carolina School of Journalism produces some of the best advertising professionals on the planet, and they do. I teach there, taught there. I don't teach no more. These kids are crazy. But they can't stay in Columbia because we don't commit to having a marketing plan and a budget. And if we don't have that, we can't support them. So it's a vicious circle. I'm here anyway, though. Yes, Anthony?
How would you help a small business pivot? When they start, we all have that catch, listen, we build something, we wanna go do that. But the market is actually right. How would you help somebody make that pivot?
Being honest with them. I mean, if you gotta pivot, you gotta pivot. I'm not gonna say, okay, a good advertising professional is like a good lawyer, accountant, or doctor. They're not gonna tell you, you know what, you're fine just like you are fat, Derek. No, Derek, you need to lose some weight. So what you have to do is we have to have those honest conversations. That's why it needs to be more than a transactional relationship between a person like me and you, so that when you need to make that pivot, I'm there for all of that. What's the plan for making the pivot? You see what I mean? We plan all those steps out. You don't want to pivot and leave existing customers. You want to bring them with you to the pivot. So we got to map all of that out. I saw here and then I'll come over here. Yes, ma'am. Yeah.
Well, I've been an entrepreneur for many years, and we know, talking in the room, that entrepreneurs struggle with the fact about finances, money. I was on Jalal's, podcast yesterday, and that is one of the issues that we have. Everything that I have funded has been my own money. The banks, they make it hard for you to get money, and marketing is one of the biggest part of, first of all, profit, like you said, service, but marketing is one of the biggest things that small business suffer with. So my question to you is, what is a great budget for a small business on a monthly, yearly budget for marketing?
There isn't one. And I say that because each one of y'all are different. Here, there's no average because if you're an accountant and you're a business accountant, then your market doesn't need TV and radio because you're gonna get it through referrals and relationships. You're gonna shape your plan differently. What I suggest is when you start the business, start savings. You start that marketing, saving for your marketing. You don't spend it, but what you gotta do, you gotta bring in somebody. I know we're used to doing everything, but bring in a marketing person, a true marketing person, vet them hard, who can sit down with you and go, this is the plan, here's the budget. They're formulas. They're formulas for this, but it's based on your business. So I can't give you a hard, fast number. I can't tell you what the TV commercial costs. That's sitting right here. Thad, how much does it cost to shoot a commercial?
Depends on the commercial.
If you want a commercial with special effects and animation and all of that, you can just hear that. I can hear that cash register ringing in my head. You want a celebrity? When I worked at Radio Shack, we paid Howie Long, Terry Hatcher, Ving Rhames, Alex Rodriguez, Daisy Fuentes. We paid them $1.75 million a year for 6 commercials. And they were considered C-level actors. In 2001, this is what year?
2024.
I see these celebrities on TV commercials and I go, oh, good Lord, what they are making. Because, I'm sitting on the set looking at my boss going, you paying him 1.75? Do you know how much you pay Derek? When we get back to the office, you and Derek got to talk. And he look at me and go, you big idiot. Yeah, whatever. You signed on. You took that. So negotiate better. But yeah, the costs are always moving. Anyone that has a price list on their website for their services in marketing and advertising, this is going to get me banned, but I've already been banished to South Carolina. There's only Mississippi left.
No.
Run. Because what they're doing is going to be boxed. It's going to be out. It's going to be formulated, and you are not a formulated person. It needs to be catered to your business. And Dalvin and Donovan are in the back. Dad's up here. There are talented people in this community that can help you do that. I'm not asking you to spend all your money, but it's strange that I went to a business where they were paying $1,300 a month for a space, and wanted to spend $250 to advertise it. There's something wrong there. The space doesn't make money without customers. But the way to get customers, you're going, oh, I only want to spend $250. No, baby, you need to save up some money. Because you should be able to get, you need customers. I'm gonna throw this out real quick. Super Bowl's coming up. Super Bowl ads are, I think they're $7 million at 30 seconds this year. However, this is Columbia, South Carolina. The local Super Bowl spots are cheap. I'm not talking about this year, think about 2 years from now, if you got a business where you need a lot of customers, the local Super Bowl spots will reach approximately almost 2 million people. So maybe save up for a year or 2 years to do your Super Bowl spot. Then you make the biggest splash you can make because everybody's watching. 2 million, you can't get 2 million people in one place on any other medium. Not Facebook, not Instagram. And this is the conversation that's hard to understand. They are physically watching the Super Bowl. So when your commercial comes across, they are physically, 2 million people are physically watching them or going to the bathroom. You lose maybe 150,000. So, but think about where else are you getting that many people to introduce your business to? So get with the local TV stations, find out what their rate is, and save up. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so I'm not an entrepreneur, but I'm not gonna ask for myself.
Sure.
So this question has to do with the millions of people in South Carolina with great business ideas, struggling, trying to figure out a way, but we don't have an infrastructure, as you said, that assists them in a way that they need the assistance. So just from your altruistic thinking, not action, what is it that needs to happen within this state to truly make, as the gentleman said last week, Midlands the startup business center of South Carolina?
We need to talk about marketing and advertising more. We need to be training, offering you guys sessions more. I did not know there were so many chambers of commerce over in Lexington, but there are. Admittedly, the Columbia Chamber of Commerce is not focused on small business. So they are not supplying those services. The city of Columbia has been working hard, the library has been working hard. There are places for that. But what we don't do is we get tired. You know, when you're talking to people and the room's not totally, they're not 100,000, they're not 200 people in this room. That takes the wind out of some people's sails. But this is more people than it was last week. So I'm feeling good. But we have to be consistent in that. The university, for them to have Darla Moore right there, Darla Moore School of Business, not Darla herself, but Darla, could be part of this conversation. Benedict can be part of this conversation. What's the Christian school? CIU, Midlands Tech. We struggle with fiefdoms.
Silo.
Yes, we don't. USC doesn't want to talk to Tech, which doesn't want to talk to Benedict and Allen, which doesn't want to talk to CIU. We all want to do this, and we all want to be, But look at how business is in Columbia. The Vista doesn't work with the Five Points Association, which doesn't work with Divine Street, which doesn't work with Main Street. Dear God, y'all are within 3 miles of each other. Until we tear those walls down. See, that's where, Andrew, that's part of my answer to the question why I don't do business. Because I look and I go, I can't cross over. If I'm working with so-and-so, this person over here is pissed. You know, I'm like, but we're in the same city. Everybody cares about the city court. Nobody's noticing that Northeast Columbia is a beast. You know, it's getting scalped, but before it got scalped, it had Tran. If you get off on Killian Road, off of 77, turn right and look at that monster of a factory. With hundreds of employees. What's the company up the road, up 77, that has three, they build engines. They got 3 factories within a mile of each other off of 77. Northeast Columbia exists totally by itself. So you gotta bring all that in. Next.
Okay, so I agree with everything you just said. I've got 2, one's a statement and one's a question. First of all, just as far as like the entrepreneurial spirit in Columbia, I pitched at 1 Million Cups 2015. We're still, here, and it wasn't, when you find the right people, and networking is the way to do it. It's like Columbia, I tell everybody, we exist because of Columbia. And the question I have is about personal brand and company brand.
Okay.
So, a lot of us have companies, and we're out there marketing. What are your thoughts on the importance of you as the owner, founder, however you want to title yourself, also kind of creating that personal brand? Do you think that brings more of that, where you can relate to people more?
Yes. That's the easy answer. Here comes the hard answer. Who is Steve Jobs without Apple? What's Apple without Steve Jobs? What was Chrysler without Lee Iacocca? Bill Gates and Microsoft. Oprah and her factory, Oprah and her company. The mistake is they're not separate. They're the same. We like to believe that the personal and business and the two never mix. We're human beings. If our exchange is bad, your business suffers. No matter, so it's not there, especially for small businesses, and my friends on Twitter are gonna eat me alive on this, but especially on small businesses, you are your corporate brand. Because you ain't got nothing else. You're the face. Some of us don't want to be the face. Lord, I love being in the shadows. But I have to be public because I'm growing an agency. I put in the time and space on social media, not because I like to, but because I got to be there. So think of them more like Truett Cathy was Chick-fil-A. Many people didn't know that. But those folks that knew Chick-fil-A before it blew up, it was Truett Cathy. Martha Stewart. She don't even bother to name, her and Oprah don't even bother to name their companies different. Because they're honest. If you have to be in front of people as the owner or the founder, the entrepreneur, guess what? You're the brand, baby. You can't behave one way and the company behaves different. Prime example here in Columbia. And white, black, I'm just gonna hit it. Piggy Park can be the best barbecue in the world. My feet will never grace those doors. Because in the 70s when I was a child, I knew who he was. And I knew how he felt about us. So, the food can be the best barbecue on the planet. I'm not going there. This is the danger of thinking you are separate from your brand. Separate from your company. You're not. I say Jobs, people go Apple. What else do you know him for? Look at the sharks on Shark Tank. They are their companies. Can you tell me, if somebody can, I mean, Damon was FUBU, but Damon is still FUBU. You know, Mark Cuban is still the Mavericks. Lori is the Home Shopping Network, QVC.
She started with the Saints line.
Yeah. See, I mean, we don't know them if they don't have something. And that's it's kind of it's kind of hard to grasp that you don't separate them. So when I move through this world, I know I'm representing Brown and Browner. And what I do is I embrace it. If you want to know, this is what it's like to do business with me. Folks will tell you, Dad and Donovan, I'm gonna tell you, I'll talk advertising until you drop dead. Because I love it. So I'm okay with it, me being the brand. I would like to move past that later on. When I'm dead and gone, it can keep going, but anyway, yes ma'am.
So, to the question, how do you, and to that question and back to what you said last week, which stuck with me, that your logo is not your brand.
No.
So, how do you build all those three together? So if you got a logo that doesn't look like you, it's not you.
But
Okay, you know where I'm trying to
yes.
go. Get me.
Okay, your logo isn't your brand until you make it your brand.
Okay.
It's an identifier.
Mhm.
So when I start behaving a certain way and you see the Brown and Browner logo, it's not up there. You start associating me with the logo. But what you're not working off the logo, you're working off of me. So you're building an image of me, and it becomes the logo.
It connects.
It
to
connects the logo, yeah.
Okay.
So what happens is when people see Coke, and Coca-Cola is a beast on this. Do you guys know that Coca-Cola designed their bottle to be recognizable?
Yep.
Their bottle is not like anybody else's bottle.
Mhm.
So they don't even have to put Coke up there. The Coke bottle by itself sends a message. The wave sends a message. Coke is a master class in what to do. To your point, they behave a certain way. See that logo? I put them on my shirt. Now, I don't make it big. I put it on, if you get a Brown and Browner shirt, I put it on the sleeve. Everybody else like to do this. That's not me. I'm not gonna scream the logo. So my logo's always on a sleeve. I'm out of shirts, by the way. That got the last two. But what I do with my branding is that's what you do. All your messaging has your logo somewhere on it.
But it's still you.
It's still me. Yeah. I mean, your business, in and of itself, if I remove you from your business, what's there?
Because the ideas, the passion, the vision all comes from there.
We are small businesses. And I hate that word. We are businesses. Ain't nothing small when it's yours.
That's right. It's true.
And you gotta pay rent. And you gotta pay employees and insurance and all that other stuff. And it don't look small when that money's going out your checking account. So I would love for us to get away from calling ourselves small. I'm a business owner. What rapper was that? I'm a businessman.
Jay-Z.
All right, it's a smart move. I don't use entrepreneur, business owner, I don't care, but we're not small. We drive this community. But that small label means you can call we're insignificant or less.
That's right.
And I don't want you to think that of yourself. That's why I wanted to do this. Yes, sir.
I had a question for you.
Sure.
So, if you wanted to get a better understanding of the framework of marketing and advertising, is there a book that you would recommend to kind of prime the mind on the concept?
You know what? I got a better idea. Read a newspaper, pick up some magazines, watch TV and listen to radio. Get on social media. What we do is, oh, and I forgot this, and now, dear God, this was an important point. Thank you so much. Who are you competing with when you advertise? Who are you competing with?
You're essentially competing with, if you're competing for attention, you're competing with everybody else who's advertising or.
And there's the problem. That's exactly right. But what we behave like is, I'm only competing with ad agencies. So I only look at ad agency advertising and marketing. You gotta look, as a business owner, you gotta look at the whole landscape and see who's standing out, who's getting noticed, who's doing all of this, and I'm sorry I may be going over. So I think what we don't do is we don't look at TV, radio, at advertising, and it doesn't, we don't see the trend. We don't, not trend as much as, we don't see what everybody else is doing. So we build advertising that's only going to deal with other advertising agencies. That's all I built my advertising to do. And I put it out there and I wonder why it's not working, because the car companies are doing funny stuff. The beer and soda folks are doing hilarious stuff. Somebody's doing stuff that makes people cry. And I did something to combat my ad folks. You see, I'm in the wrong space. So I would say books, but the problem with books are, how long does it take to write a book?
To get published, it can take years.
Yeah, so say 3 years. I'll give you 3 years. Think about what's happened in 3 years.
3 years.
That book is behind. TV, radio, print, social media, outdoor, it ain't behind. It's today. So what you gotta do is you gotta start, I'm one of the few ad people that watch TV. I watch it incessantly because you know what? That's my competition. That's who my clients have to compete with them. So how arrogant of me to not know what they're doing. Banks shouldn't be looking at bank advertising. Is there a bank advertising now that simply says, and this is, and I'll end on this, we want your business? Do they move like they want your business? No. You know why? Because every bank that's doing advertising is using an ad agency that has bank advertising experience. So they're all following the same recipe. This is what bank advertising should do. So it all looks and sounds the same. Yeah. When what needs to happen is I need to bring you in who have never done bank advertising, and you go, well, what if we do it like car advertising? And the bank people go, can we do that? Why, of course you can. There are no rules. Marketing and advertising is a street fight. There's no ref, no bell, no rules. There's kicking in the groin in this one. There's biting and pulling hair and everything else. The goal is to win and to remain true to who you are. So if you go into this and you're thinking, well, this is how so-and-so does their advertising, you've already lost. But if you get out and look at what everybody's doing, the first person to do different wins. They just do. It may not be an original idea, but the first person that does different wins. The whole point is to stand out. You're not going to get that from a book. I'll give you some tools that track advertising. And they track it in real time so you can see what people are doing today. The FWA, THEFWA.com, list stuff daily that's being done. So when you see stuff like that, that's where you, exposure, sorry, but I'm done.